Hey everyone, hope you're all having a great day. Thanks for joining me on August 8th. And as always, we are not financial advisors, and everything you see on here is for educational purposes only. All right, let's get started. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It's been a pretty interesting weekend, actually. All right, so from the last video, we mentioned that the way things were looking at, we hit a strong reversal fib up here on BTC around 23,400 area, and we knew we were going to push back down. We pushed one red candle, and then we were going to push another one. Usually, recently, like Sundays and Mondays, Bitcoin has dropped. So we were thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll have a nice drop on Monday. As you can see, it didn't drop. It actually had a nice little push. Um, Yesterday, I mentioned that we came down. BTC hit an orange fib on this candle right here, so we knew it was gonna push back up. Now, what was tricky is yesterday is it was on this bottom was an orange fib, and the top was also matching a strong reversal fib. And I mentioned yesterday in the Discord, like, hey, you know what? To be honest, I'm not too sure which way it's gonna go because it's on two different fibs, and that rarely happens. And based off the info today, since it's pumped, I'm gonna lean more toward because this was closed and this bottom one was an orange fib. I shouldn't have counted the top one yet because this candle represents whichever one hit it first, which was the orange, so meaning it's top. So that's why BTC pushed back up. It's currently right now on a strong reversal fib as well. So these little reversal fibs, fib lines represent areas that can be reversed at a certain percentage. Like right now, this is an 80% chance this could be a top at 24,267. Now, with that said, is I still have this white fib area here, this line here, where, and I'm actually write it down so I have it. So 22,400. So this is still a white fib target. So this represents that we still have to drop back down below this, as well as this is the first arrow, and this is our second. We need to come back down to fulfill the second arrow. So we have two indicators saying, hey, we still have to drop back down. No matter how high it goes up, it's gonna have to still come back down to these prices. Now, Bitcoin is in a strong reversal fib. It's currently pushing back down now. But what's important here is there's still a 20% chance we could break above this. And if we do, obviously we're going to come back up to the top of the trend line, which Bitcoin loves to touch these trend lines over and over and over. And there's actually another strong reversal fib there. So 24,456. So even though we break above the current fib line, there's still a lot of resistance that it has. And again, we have to be very careful because they tend to wick above the trend line and then drop back down. Will this finally be the one where it actually breaks above, retests, and then goes upward? We'll find out soon. And again, even though if it pushes upward, let's say it does break above, finally, it goes to the next support area, it's gonna most likely drop back down. Somebody today asked me if 17,000 was off the table. There's always a small chance. With cryptos, you never know. My targets usually play out really well. So right now, I'm gonna just leave it there because a lot of times it might still hit there, and it could still hit on this date. I had to readjust it. I actually said the 24th. It was actually 27th. I actually misplaced it. I had this, but I'll take it back. We actually might have to cancel this date because this candle here is getting above the previous area, and that would actually cancel out that trend line that I have because it can't go above its previous high. So that might be squashed out, but this target I'm still going to leave there because it's also a white fib. Now, move this over here. Now, like I was saying right now, a member asked like if fail 17 was done and we won't come back no more, we'll just continue to go like sideways upward. I wouldn't say completely sideways upward. We're in the trend where even if we break above, it's gonna come all the way back down to this, and technically 22 could be our next bottom, and then it'll go sideways and it'll come back down. So we're gonna be in a situation where, or not a situation, but phase where we're gonna just go sideways for a couple months, like a lot of ups and downs, a lot of ups and downs. It's not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna moon now. No, bear market doesn't work. We have our dropping phase, then we'll have our sideways phase, and then finally we'll have our bullish phase, and then we can have a little rally at the top. So that's the way like the markets work. Granted, it could be a little more upward or downward. We'll never know. Just like how I mentioned, we go up, we could still get rejected and come back down. I still have these targets there. You know, and for me right now, it looks like they know people are so ready to get back in that they keep, it easily pumps back in. It drops slowly, like people are not trying to release it, pumps up. I still feel like we have to have some sort of nice little drop to try to scare people out one last time. Anytime we reach a bottom, we tend to do some sort of like, retest of the bottom and then go up. So I'm still waiting for situations like that. It might take a lot longer. We might go up a little bit and then come back down and then go back up, and that will technically be our little retest of it. So, and this is another reason why I say, we're in the whole sideways phase. If you guys remember, I mentioned about the, oops, what's BTC? BTC rainbow chart. I mentioned how in this chart here, this is a really cool chart to keep an eye out. We are in the accumulation phase, right? Basically the fire sale at the very bottom, and we're just kind of going sideways, just like how you see in this area down here how we went up all the way back down, up all the way back down. This is where we're going to be at. We're going to be doing a lot of ups and downs. Now, a lot of people probably think we're probably going to do something like this. Maybe we can go up, but then it's going to come all the way back down, all the way up, all the way back down. So right now I see it's just kind of going sideways. Maybe go up a little bit, but then we're still going to come back down. But this is one of the reasons why I said, hey, we can still, dollar cost average, because we are in the blue area. So there's nothing wrong with doing dollar cost averaging. You just want to wait for where we're in, like, during the red days, not when we're going upward. You don't want to be greedy. You don't want to be like, well, I want to get the very, very, very bottom. It never works out that way. That's why I've always said, hey, you know what? You want to aim for a good price, not the bottom. Most people tend to miss the bottom. If this was the bottom, guess what? We technically missed the bottom. But it's easy to, again, like I've mentioned before, it's easy to go back and say, oh, look, see, that was the bottom. Ha ha ha, look, it was the bottom. We missed it. But at the same time, this area here, everybody was freaking out because, they didn't know which stable coin they were able to be in. They didn't know if Coinbase was going to live. All these exchanges are going to crash. It was all gloom and doom, right? But nobody wanted to buy because, hey, I'm not going to buy it. The whole market is going to crash. Then you look back and you're like, oh, seal's all FUD. This is why I told everybody, Coinbase is not going anywhere. Like, Coinbase is safe. Like, we've heard that before. It's no surprise. But going back to the market, like if we touch up on XRP, XRP is currently on a strong reversal fib at 0.3838. So if it holds there and we close there for the day, it's going to push back down. So it'll signal that we're still going sideways. If we can break above that 3838, it'll have a nice little push. The next reversal fib will be at 3951. So it has a nice little push. We look at Algo. Algo is still not on a reversal fib, so it could still push up a little bit more, maybe up to 3779. We look at H bar. H bar is also not on a reversal fib. It can go up to 0.0805. Matic. Matic's on a weak reversal fib. This is a 50-50 chance this could be a top and can push back down. But even if we still push upward, there's still a lot of resistance, a lot of other fibs that could hold it back. It would have to break above its previous high. And you can see there's a big gap from this fib to that. So that can actually push that. So this is like the only time I would be like, okay, you know what? If you need your Matic, this is probably where you might want to buy it because it's going to take off higher. But in the meantime, you don't want to buy in too early because they can get rejected here and start pushing back down. And it's almost towards the trend line. So I've always mentioned they always come back, touch the trend line, whether if it's on top or bottom. If we look at Rose, yesterday I mentioned, hey, look, it's on a strong reversal fib. This one's more of a 70% chance that it's at the top. And it touched that, went all the way to that, touched it, dumped all the way back down, pushing up a little bit, but we'll see how it holds. But if it holds here, we're going to make another red candle tomorrow, so it's going to keep pushing back down. Has a lot of momentum because of that Facebook partnership. Now here's where it gets interested. Last night I mentioned in the end of day summary that she, even though Bitcoin was in the kind of like a limbo area where we weren't sure like which way it was going to go, we knew that Shiba was going to push up. And yesterday I mentioned like, hey, look, Shiba technically has to go up. Like I know Bitcoin, says either or, but Shiba says it has to go up. So we have to be, alert on that. I got in, but then I saw like it hit a reversal fib. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just get out because it just didn't seem right. And I just figured, you know what, I'll have a breakout point in case, the woo woo side of it plays out and it does this crazy pump or something like that. At least I'll get in on the breakout and still profit from that. I don't want to run too much because remember, look at all these wicks. Like, we still run the risk of all these wicks happening. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We are on a white fib. So if we close here, so if Shiba can't get above 1270, it's going to reverse back down. Like, it'll do a reverse back down, and then it has to come back up above that. And we also have two bullish, targets at 1315 and 27 or 1274. I don't know why I said 27. I'm looking at the middle. 1274. So it has a lot of bullish momentum right now. So if we close here again, it pushes down, comes back up. I don't want to make the video too long, so I'll speed this things up a little bit. So Atom, still not at any reversal fib, so it can still push up a little bit. Now AVAX actually pushed up nicely. I did make a post where it was on a strong reversal fib, and if it broke that fib, it would have a nice pump, and we had a nice little pump. It's currently almost at the top of the trend line, and it's on a strong reversal fib. So if AVAX holds at its current price of, current high of 30.16, it's gonna drop back down. It does need to do, once it does that, it does need to do 2 arrows down, so we're just gonna have some nice bearish momentum. If it were to break above, it still has the resistance at the top of the trend line, which is about 30.68. So it has a little bit more resistance now as it did before. So I don't know if it'll pump as much. We look at Digibyte. Digibyte's still not on any reversal fib or anything like that. If we look at Phantom's poked a little bit more than I would like for it to count. So I'm gonna say it's not gonna count. So Phantom might be able to still push up a little bit more. Same goes for Ethereum. And Ethereum Phantom, what could happen is they can print the next candle on the daily candle, push up, touch the fib, and then drop back down. Similar to what Rose did. If I go back to Rose, like Rose was here. Like, it was still a little bit far away from the dark blue fib. And what did it do? It printed another candle, went up, touched it, and then dropped back down. So that's what like Ethereum could do. We look at ADA. ADA's currently on a white fib at 0.5491. This means that if it closes here, it'll temporarily reverse back down, but then come back up to that, back up above the white fib, which is 54.91. If I look at Near's a little bit off on the strong reversal fib. So again, it could print over, head up, touch it a little better, and then come back down. If we do break above, we still have these two reversal fibs on top, so it, still have some sort of resistance. Like, okay, like here you have a big strong candle, and then it got rejected right away. Then it went sideways, and now they're trying to push it up again. Now when we look at Data, now Data is one of the ones that actually does have an open target. So we know we pushed up, and I kind of figured that it would break more above 150. It currently went all the way up to 169.5, and right now it's on a weak reversal fib, so there's a 50-50 chance it's a top. But again, it's one of those ones where I mentioned, like, look, it broke over the orange, it goes over, and then the second candle goes up a little bit, touches that reversal fib, and then pushes back down. Now with Data, we do have an open target, a second arrow target, which is 135.2. So Data has to drop back down to this area eventually. So the more it goes up, the more it's gonna have to come back down, and that's an 18% drop that it has to do. So that's gonna be pretty interesting to see when that's gonna actually hit. We look at Zill. Zill's a little bit short, but that orange fib looks like it counted because then it dropped all the way back down. It's currently just pushing a little bit sideways. Overall, the market right now is kind of giving me like that in between, like it's not too sure what's going to do. Usually I'll have a lot of coins on strong reversal fibs, and if everybody's on a reversal fib, they tend to reverse back down or back up. Right now everybody's kind of in limbo, so it's kind of giving me that vibe where it's like we could just go a little bit sideways. Bitcoin, if it holds here, it's going to drop back down, and then all the alts will drop back down with it. If we can break above that, again, it's still going to hit the top trend line. So either way, there's still a lot of resistance in Bitcoin. We'd have to get above this trend line and close above it, because it always spikes above and comes back down. So they're literally just making people come in and out, in and out. And I know it's easy to say, oh, well, look, you could easily traded this up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Easier said than done, because, bunch of fake outs where it's like, oh, here we go, it broke above, it's gonna take off, and it doesn't. Eventually, it's probably gonna have to finally, break above it. I've mentioned before, like this type of pattern usually drops down. As you can see, there's still a lot of people wanting to buy cryptos. Like if we go up here, we went upward, we drop down, we drop down. This one we went kind of sideways. So, but the key thing here is you can tell people still want to buy cryptos. People are ready to quick to jump back in, and that's usually not a sign of a bottom in a bear market. But things have changed. There's more companies involved. People will probably look at the rainbow chart and be like, you know what, it's okay to dollar cost average, and that's okay to do. What you don't really want to do right now is go all in, just because you're like, oh well, this was the bottom, I should get in now. Well, hey, this could be the top and it could drop back down. Whoops. So you gotta remember that you usually don't want to buy when everything is green, everything is nice and shiny and stuff like that. You want to buy when everything is red. I've already mentioned, hey look, I've dollar cost averaged in a few things. And a few people were like, "Whoa, why? Like, why it cost?" Because I'm looking at it at the big picture, right? Not the little picture, not all these ups and downs. If it drops back down, perfect. The key thing is, if I happen to be wrong and it does this crazy moon and it takes off, you want to have a little bit, right? Everybody should have some hodl bags for this specific reason, because it still keeps going up. And overall, I wouldn't say it's going up. I'd say it's more like just going sideways. And we're technically due for a nice breakout any day, whether if that breakout is going to be a little bit upward or if it's finally going to come downward. The Mt. Gox do get their coins at the end of the month, supposedly. It's happened before, so we'll see how that turns out. I don't want to make the video any longer than it is now, so we'll end it there. And for anybody who's watching this video that's not on my Discord, I do have a Discord where I do update everybody daily, and they can even request charts. I offer some trading courses too, so even if you don't know how to do any trading at all, I do offer some courses. Because remember, right now we're going to be going, this is a sideways phase where we're going to go sideways for a few months. And one of the real ways to make some money, it's going to be trading. Or say you want to learn a little side hustle where you want to make little trades, little money here and there. This is the way you would actually want it, the route you want to take. Because trading the cryptos and trying to get everything perfect is a little bit trickier. But with that said, if I go over to the membership, here's my membership. I have $10 where you can watch my market update videos. I post a video Monday through Friday. I do have a Peace of Mind where you can actually join the Discord and you get all my signal alerts and market update videos. I do have Edge where it's the same thing as Peace of Mind. You get the market updates, the Discord signal alerts. You get request charts. There's actually a scalping room where I do post trades, and we can do one-on-one sessions on Zoom, and you get 2 of them a month. And then I have the higher tier on that, and that pretty much just gives you a little bit more Zoom sessions in case you want to go over your portfolio, or you want to go over specific coins, or sometimes people just like to vent. It's a bear market. It's tough right now on a lot of people. All right, I'll see everybody on the Discord.